and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I apply makeup to make sure that it lasts all day. Because let's face it, I work in a corporate job where most days I put in 9, 10, sometimes 12 or more hours in a day. And on days like that, I often find that it's hard to even get to the bathroom, much less find the time to powder my face or reapply my lipstick. So I need products that I will be confident will stay on my face all day, not budge and not start doing things that look goofy like transfer or melt down my face. So what I'm going to show you today is basically the items that I have on right now. It's about 6 p.m. and I've been wearing this makeup since about 7 a.m. when I put it on. I have not reapplied anything. I haven't touched up my face, reapplied lipstick, and I have eaten lunch and had water numerous times throughout the day. So you can see how well my makeup has lasted based on the techniques and the products that I'm using. So if you're interested in seeing how I make my makeup last all day, then please keep watching. So the makeup products that I'm about to show you and the techniques aren't really all that different than what I do on my normal workday kind of makeup routine. But on just my normal workday routine, I may take a couple of shortcuts that allow me to put on my makeup a little bit faster. But when I know I need my makeup to last all day, I will do a couple of additional things that will really make sure that my makeup has the staying power that I need. So once I've put on my moisturizer and SPF, I follow up with a primer. I like to use the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer. The reason I use a primer on days where I need that staying power is because a lot of times the moisturizer and SPF adds a little bit of an emollient feel to the skin. And I need to make sure that I'm going in with something that's a little bit more mattifying, that's going to take down some of that emolliency from my skin. And I find that this primer does a great job at doing that. Next, I'll just put on whatever color corrector that I'm using for my under eyes. The Bobbi Brown one is the one that I'm using right now, but I'll put that on just like I normally do. The next step is I'll put on my foundation. Now normally I actually like to skip the primer step and skip foundation and instead opt for a moisturizer, SPF, and color correction for my face all in one with a BB cream. But for a day when I really need to make sure that my makeup stays put and I know I'm not going to be able to mess with it, then I will actually go and put on a regular foundation. Because what I'm looking for at that point is a nice mattifying foundation. So this is the foundation I've been using most recently on those kinds of days. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless. But it can be any mattifying foundation that you find that works. But the idea with a mattifying foundation is it's going to help keep the oils at bay. And for me, that's the thing that typically makes my makeup start looking a little less than fresh throughout the day, is when my oils shine through, my makeup starts to separate, and sometimes things start moving around on my skin. So a nice, good quality mattifying foundation is really going to be a great step in keeping that face from moving around. Then I'll follow up with my under eye concealer, and I find for me that it doesn't really matter which concealer that I'm using in terms of staying power. It's just whichever one that I happen to like, because the next step is going to be what really keeps the concealer in place for me. And that's because I'm going to follow it up with an under eye setting powder. This one is the e.l.f. High Definition Under Eye Setting Powder, and this is what I'll use to make sure my under eye concealer stays put and doesn't crease or move around throughout the day. Similarly, I will do a setting powder for the rest of my face. And really, when I say setting powder, what I actually typically end up doing is using a powder foundation. So for instance, I'll use something like my Kat Von D Lock-It Powder Foundation, and I will apply this all over my face. Once again, it's really setting all of those liquid and cream products that I have on my face and just giving me one more layer to make sure that nothing moves around. Next, I'll follow that up with my bronzer and my blush. So for bronzer and blush, I have the most luck with staying power with powder products. And probably a lot of powder products work, but for me, my Makeup Geek products work the best. So I have my contour powders right here, which I will use, and then I'll follow it up with the blush. Blush happens to be one of those things that seems to disappear from my face faster than anything, and I don't have that problem with the Makeup Geek blushes, where a lot of times I do have that problem with other brands. Another brand that works really well at staying all day is the Tarte Amazonian Clay. I think they call it like 12-hour blush. So I'll make sure I use either my Makeup Geek or my Tarte Amazonian Clay blush on a day where I need it to stay all day. So after I've done my face products, I then move on to my eyes. So I like to start my eyes with my eyebrows. And on a day where I need to make sure that my makeup lasts all day long, I will use a powder product. Because once again, I just find that powder products have a tendency to work best at staying put and being visible throughout the day. So I like to use my Anastasia powder, and this is one of the duos, and I will just apply that with the little angled brush that comes with it. That'll make sure the color stays all day. And then to make sure that the brows stay in place, I will follow it up with a brow gel. This is the Clear e.l.f. Brow gel. Once I get my brows set, I move on to my eyeshadow. Now I like to start my eyeshadow with some kind of creamy base. I find that these Maybelline color tattoos are great for being creamy bases, and I will apply that. I've got them in several different colors, and I'll just use a color that's going to complement or be light enough that I can apply whatever eyeshadow look over it that I want. So this is Barely branded, and I find that I can really apply this with most any look because it's light enough that it won't clash or peek through whatever eyeshadow powder products I want to apply on top. Once I've set my eyes or started my eyes with that creamy product, I will then follow up with whatever eyeshadow I'm using for the day. So at this point, I do want to make sure I'm putting a powder product on top to make sure that I'm going to really have eyeshadow that stays all day. And I find that most powder products, once you've done that with the creamy base, most eyeshadows will have pretty good staying power. But one palette that I find has better staying power than even most is this Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, Modern Renaissance. And that is the eye look that I have on today. Once I've applied my eyeshadow, I then move on to eyeliner. And the best thing for me when I need to make sure that my eyeliner stays all day is to actually use a liquid liner. Now, I don't necessarily enjoy doing liquid liner every day because to me, liquid liner is a little bit tedious and a little bit harder to use. But because it does dry down completely dry, if I use a liquid liner, I know that my eyeliner is not going anywhere. And my favorite one is the Tattoo Liner by Kat Von D. So I recommend this for anybody that would like a liquid liner and has a little bit more ease of use or control when applying it, but does dry down completely dry and matte to make sure it's not going to move throughout the day. If for some reason I'm just not feeling it though with putting on the liquid liner, then I can put on more of a crayon type of liner. And what I need to do in that case is once I've applied the crayon liner is I'll just need to set it with the same color eyeshadow to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere. Otherwise, I do find that occasionally the crayon types of liners, because they're a little bit creamier consistency, will move around a little bit, or at least are a lot more susceptible to the heat and humidity that you might experience throughout the day, or if you accidentally rub your eye. But if you set it with a shadow, it at least has a little bit better staying power. And so that can work if you don't feel like fiddling with the liquid liner. From there, I will put on a mascara, and I will opt for a mascara that's a bit of a drier type of formula, because I find that the drier formulas don't transfer on on or around my eyes as much. And as long as they don't flake on me, will end up staying really, really well. Sometimes it can be hard to find a mascara that's both dry enough to not transfer around your eyes, but not be too dry so that it doesn't flake. So I find that the Physicians Formula Organic Wear is a great combination of that. It starts off when you first open the tube, maybe just a smidge on the wet side, but after about a week or so of using it, it's dried out to the perfect amount so that when you apply it, you don't have to worry about how it applies and transfers around your eyes, but I never have had this flake. After I put on my mascara, I'm done with my eyes, and I just finish up my face with a highlighter. Once again, powder works best for me for staying power, and one that I love to use on quick, easy days is any of the Becca highlighters. Then I'll move to putting on my lipstick. And I like to put on my lipstick very, very last, just because I do feel like it's the product that disappears the most quickly throughout my day. And so just psychologically, even though it may take me only 10 or 15 minutes to put on my makeup and I'm only saving 10 or 15 minutes by putting it on last, I still always put it on last. So I love liquid lipsticks and have a tendency to wear those about 95% of the time because I find that they're easy to put on, they don't require a lip liner, and they do typically have some of the longest staying power. I think the Kat Von D's are particularly good for that. But on days where I know I'm going to need my lipstick to last as long as I can get it, then I will actually start with a lip liner. And I will put the lip liner on, outlining my lips, but then also fill in my lips. Once I've done that, I'll apply whatever color I want for the day of my liquid lipstick. And that will ensure that the color on my lips lasts even beyond that first meal, beyond drinking water or whatever snacks or things that I'm eating throughout the day. Whereas normally with just a liquid lipstick, I can get through that first meal, which for me typically is 4 or 5 hours after I've put on my makeup. I can get through that first meal, but I'll need to reapply if I want my makeup to look as fresh as it did in the morning. But if I have on the lip liner first, it will, first of all, give my liquid lipstick something to stick to a little bit better. But then if my liquid lipstick does start to fade, it fades to whatever color is underneath my lips. I do find that the combination of the lip liner all over the lips and the liquid lipstick can be a little drying. So I try not to do that every day. I do try to really reserve that for days where I know that after lunch I'm probably not going to have a chance to put on more liquid lipstick, and therefore I really need that additional staying power. Last, on days where I need my makeup to last a long time, I will follow up with a setting spray. Now there's a lot of different setting sprays out on the market, and some of them have different things that they do. Some do a better job of setting your makeup so that it dries down or kind of melts together, and some actually help lock your makeup in to make sure that the color stays vibrant and that it doesn't melt or transfer all over your face or disappear by the end of the day. So obviously for days where I need my makeup to last throughout the day, I'm looking for a setting spray that really will do the latter, make sure that my makeup stays. But I also like to find one that will do a good job of helping my makeup really set into my face as well, because that will make sure that if I was getting any creasing under the eyes from the concealer, maybe I didn't do a good job there, or maybe some of my blush or contour is looking a little strong or blotchy or something, the setting mist will actually do a good job of just kind of pushing everything into the skin and helping it kind of become a little bit more cohesive. So the one I've actually been enjoying most recently is one of the cheapest ones that I own, and it's the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. And so this one I really like because it actually has a pretty good sprayer that has a pretty fine mist. And when I spray it on my face, it's not too wet, but it does help my makeup really sink into my skin and then last throughout the day. So there you have it. There are some of the makeup products and techniques that I use when I need my makeup to last all day long. And as you can see with this 11-hour makeup look that I'm wearing now, my makeup is going strong. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope to see you back next time. Bye.